Hi everyone, I am Dawana Golden, the founder of Special Shades of Color and the lead video creator for this space and for this community. So a few weeks ago I shared a video and I shared something about my journey with chronic illness as well as being a special needs parent. And I told you that I would do a video series and really focus on this part of my journey with you with my video blog. And I'm going to do that. It's something that I've dealt with for a majority of my time as a special needs parent, but it's become more prevalent and more consistent and constant in my life over the past 2 years of dealing with my issues and challenges, plus dealing with the life of CJ and what he requires and his care. If you don't know, if you're new, I am a special needs parent. I have a son who is 17 years old. He'll be 18 this year, and he has a dual diagnosis of Down syndrome and autism. His developmental level is probably equivalent to maybe a 4-year-old, if that. He's nonverbal and requires a lot of day-to-day care. So when you're talking about me dealing with illness and not being able to move sometimes due to pain and inflammation, or not get up or not function at my best, it does have an impact on my mental health, but also the way that I care for CJ. So I want to discuss that. All right. This is sort of an introductory video, introductory point for the chronic illness that I'm suffering with and what I'll be sharing with you, but also another topic that I want to share with you called caregiver fatigue. It's very huge. It's very important that we discuss it in this space for us as parents. Now, you know that I had the pleasure and the honor of speaking at a conference last weekend. And I spoke to special needs ministry workers because they come in contact with our families on a regular basis and they deal directly with our kids. So I had the conversation about this topic of caregiver fatigue, and I thought, this is something I need to share with Special Shades of Color, the parents here, because I know it's something that many of us have dealt with. So today I want to just share a couple of instances when I knew I was hitting that wall and suffering from fatigue. Okay, I want to share what it looked like for me. We all deal with it in a different way, so yours may not be as severe, or it might be more severe. Okay, we understand that. But first I want to give a definition of caregiver fatigue. And I'm going to look at my computer here and give it. Caregiver fatigue is defined as a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that may be accompanied by a change in attitude, from positive and caring to negative and unconcerned. So how many can relate to that? Where you are a loving and caring parent for your child, but there are times and instances where you become overwhelmed, stressed, exhausted to the max, and you get short-tempered, right? You're not functioning in your best capacity, in your highest capacity. You may not even feel like doing what you need to do as a parent. How many of us have hit that wall sometimes? You can raise your hand in the comment section, say me, say I can relate, and let me know if that has ever been you. Remember, this is an open space, open and honest, transparent communication. I know we like to put on the face of being super mom or super dad, superhero to our kids, but we don't always feel like that. So here are 2 times that I did not feel like that. One time was when CJ was home from the hospital when he was first born. And remember, CJ stayed in the hospital for 3 months. So when he finally came home, you know, he had the sleepless nights just like any infant, but he had medical challenges. He was not taking food, any formula, he was throwing it up, and he was losing weight. And I was stressed. I was not getting my sleep. I was worried about him. You know, we take on our children's challenges and their struggles. We take them on as our own. And so I began to really feel it in my body where I was tensing up. And I became really anxious And I suffered from anxiety from that. And then I started having panic attacks on a regular basis where I had to be transported to the hospital and go to the ER on several occasions because of my high level anxiety. That was my first instance of caregiver fatigue. And I was like, whoa, something's going on and I need to get some help, take some time to myself, call on my support system, whoever's there who's willing to help. The next time was in about 2014, and I was dealing with a transition from being married to going into a divorce. On top of that layer, I had the responsibility of mounting bills. But me being a special needs parent did not go away. So all of those challenges were layered on top of that. It wasn't a nice layered stress cake for me, all right? And at that moment, I thought I had completely lost control of my life. My life was turned upside down. And I found myself barricaded in a bathroom one day, and I wanted to just completely be gone. I could not deal with it anymore. It was too much stress for me. And so I was in the bathroom ready to check out. And I had a wake-up call. Okay, I had a wake-up call in that moment, and I said, I need to lean on some people. I can't do this. What are my kids going to do without me? You know, I'm all they have. So then I had that reality check, but that was a scary time, and that was probably the scariest time of my journey. And so I know what caregiver fatigue is. And although I'm now 17 years, almost 18 years into my journey, it doesn't necessarily get easier. You just learn how to cope with and deal with some of those things that go on, but you still hit those roadblocks sometimes in the journey. You know, and it may not be as severe, like I said, as I suffered, you know, in terms of maybe suicidal thoughts or things like that. But you might have chronic sadness. You might find yourself crying a lot. You might find yourself in isolation from other people. And I don't want to go into all the symptoms because I will be sharing that during this video series. But I want you to know what that looks like, what the triggers are, how to identify it, and then how to decrease the impact that it has on your life through some self-care practices. And I'm not just talking about self-care practices about taking a bath, going to the spa, not that. Beyond that. All right, we all know that that's not truly all that self-care is. Okay, spa days and things of that nature. It's not. There are some other elements to self-care that I want to be able to share with you. And let's talk about it. Let's be honest about it. We're here to help each other. All right, we're not in this alone. A lot of us go through it. So I wanted to share that. I will be back on soon with the next video for this series of caregiver fatigue, and we will talk about the symptoms. All right, you guys. So if you guys have not connected with our YouTube channel, find us Special Shades of Color on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. If you're not in our Special Parent Lounge, get in there and have honest conversations with other parents. All right, it's here on Facebook. Find us on those two communities, and you can also find us on Instagram. Okay, find Special Shades and you will see us there. So meet us in all those areas and let's talk about caregiver fatigue.